The man behind the scenes is the most powerful. So today we're going to get really psyched and we're going to talk about the unconscious mind. So, the unconscious mind is the repository of every experience that you have had. It contains everything that you have thought about and the stuff that you have remembered and been through that you are not thinking about in the present moment, at least according to Jung. In terms of Freud, it's unconscious desires and things of that nature, your drives and what have you. And let's talk about how this applies to magic, because this channel is where psychology and magic come together, right? So, your subconscious is what drives everything that you do. 90% of our stimuli that we are seeing every day, seeing, hearing, sensing, smelling, all that stuff, it goes through a filter. 90% of it is not even noticed to our conscious mind, and it's taken in by our subconscious mind. A lot of our thoughts and the actions that we take are fueled by our subconscious based on the previous experiences that we have been through. So all of your reactions and everything to every kind of stimuli nowadays is based on your subconscious's calculations, which are based on your past experiences. So the older you are, the more subconscious programming that you have. And a big goal in self-stalking and metacognition is to bring that unconscious conscious. So we want to know what the drives are behind our thoughts. We want to know what the thoughts are behind our thoughts. Mainly because this is where a hell of a lot of energy goes and where we direct a hell of a lot of our energy and our intention and our time. And magic is energy. And when we do spell work, we want to make sure that our conscious and our unconscious are aligned in both the same way. Otherwise, your unconscious, which is a greater force than you could think of, is going to guide your results in a particular direction. What I want you guys to think about is it's like a puppet and the puppeteer, right? Even if the puppet's conscious, the puppeteer can still steer him and move him in different ways. Now, if we know what's going on in our unconscious, which we can do through dream symbolism, writing things down, recording things all the time, really thinking about thinking, even having conversations with ourselves, we can get to know what's going on with our unconscious. And like I said, our unconscious really drives a lot of the things that we do. So we might say, oh, I'm going to remember this thing when I go to the grocery store in 2 hours. Then 2 hours later, you're like, oh yeah, I meant to get this thing when you're at the grocery store. That's your unconscious kind of driving you and, giving you a, hey, there's this thing. And when it comes to magic, particularly sigils, in regards to Osmond Spare, who, was a pioneer of chaos magic, his idea with sigils was that the sigils, and I've talked about this a whole bunch of times if you haven't seen any of my other videos by now. I've talked about a whole bunch of times where sigils communicate something to the subconscious, which then communicates that desire to the universe. Because when we change it from a linguistic thing to a symbolic thing, then our unconscious knows what that symbol is. And the idea is when we do magic or spell work with whatever intent, whatever vehicle, particularly sigils in this case with Osmond Spare, whatever magic that we do the work and then we forget it, because we do this work and we make it very, very dramatic with our rituals, with all of our bells and whistles and the movement of energies, and we try to make it as energetic as possible to make it a very profound experience. And your unconscious, your subconscious remembers this. And I'll kind of paraphrase Osmond Spare here. The idea is to hurl your desires and needs into the unconscious, so the unconscious can take care of it and do the work that it needs to do to get from point A to point B, to go from where you are to manifesting what you want. So when we do a spell and then we do the, to know, to will, to dare, and to be silent, we set it and we forget it, or we make a sigil and we consecrate it, that desire and everything is in the back of our minds. And the idea is that when we then go through our mundane actions after that spell work, our subconscious knows the desires that we're looking for, and therefore will look out for different signals and pathways and ways to get us to take action to bring those goals closer to us. So, the unconscious mind is really one of our most powerful tools. The mind is our most powerful tool because it's how we generate the energies, our ideas, and how we come up with how we want to shape our world. So, when you are working with your unconscious mind, what you want to keep in mind is when you do a spell or whatever ritual work or what have you, you set it and you forget it. I've had people that I've even done magic for hire for when they ask questions about the ritual after, and I have to basically be like, dude, you got to let the energy do its thing, because otherwise you're muddying the waters. It's like double checking that something is good in the oven when every time you open the oven you're lowering the temperature and you're screwing it up. You gotta let it cook. You gotta let the results manifest themselves. You gotta leave well enough alone and trust the unconscious and the universe to take care of it for you. So let me know what you guys think about this. If you want me to talk about anything else in regards to how magic and psychology relate, or any other video topics, you can always email me. You can connect with me on any of my social media, the links to which you can find down there at the end of this video. And if you really like what I'm doing here, please support me on Patreon or even the YouTube channel memberships. Good hunting. Thanks for watching my video. So if you want to check out my playlists, I have, among others, the Simon Necronomicon, the Tree of Life, General Magic, Tulpamancy, a playlist on my books, the elements, stones, the theories that govern magic, and the gods and goddesses of Mesopotamia. If you want to check out my books on Amazon, I have Creating Consciousness, Magical Mechanics, Magical Theater, Handy Sigil Magic, Magical Movement, which is an update and expansion upon Handy Sigil Magic, Magical Mastery, which is a combination masterwork of Magical Theater and Magical Mechanics, and The Guide to the Spheres and Beyond. You can also find me on Facebook at Magickology YT. You can email me at priestofthenecro@gmail.com, and you can even check out my Instagram, which is Magickology. And good hunting.